Hi, my name is Samantha Delio, and I wanted to talk a little bit about what my application process looked like and how I used my resources to help me overcome barriers of things that I thought were barriers that actually ended up being things that turned to my advantage. So, when I first started looking at law school, I understood the law school application process to be a huge barrier in my success. I grew up always working. I've worked since I was 15 years old legally, and before that, I was babysitting since I was literally in fifth grade. Luckily, I had my little sister's friends to babysit. So I've always been financially responsible for myself. I've put myself through college. I actually managed to graduate in 3 years alongside taking 21 units and working 4 jobs at the same time. Some of these jobs fluctuated and changed during this time, but my main ones were a project manager at a marketing and fulfillment center. I worked at the math tutoring center at SDSU. I was a writing mentor at SDSU. I was a manager at a restaurant, and I also was able to find time eventually to intern at the public defender's office with a project called the Racial Discrimination Act. So in my time at SDSU, I really did think that law school applications looked for your experience in law. And I saw myself at a disadvantage because I never had the time to pursue interests that I really had. I was forced to pursue jobs that made the most money because it was how I stayed afloat. And I felt that the applications were asking me to tell stories of how I helped others. But I couldn't come up with that because I was so busy helping myself and making sure that my own boat didn't sink that I didn't have time to build others a boat. And I saw this as a disadvantage. I saw this as something that stood in my way of law school because I didn't have the internships, the externships, the experience in the legal field that I thought they were looking for. But this all changed when I read the preLaw Back to School Edition, the 2022 section. And there was a specific article titled What Law Schools Look For. And this was the beginning of my mental transformation that I don't need to be like everybody else to succeed and to get into law school. I just need to be myself. So here they actually talked about the different criteria that law schools actually look for, and it really opened my eyes to understand that they're not looking for lawyers because you go to law school to become a lawyer. They're looking for you who wants to become a lawyer, and they're looking for the traits that you possess that show your determination and who you are. And when I read this, I seriously felt like a weight was lifted off of my shoulders because they really emphasized, don't try to be someone you're not. Show with honesty who you are. Because if you want to go to law school and you're determined and all these traits about you, they're enough. You are enough. And reading that seriously, I can't even tell you how much that transformed my experience. I went from trying to pick apart little internships or little things that I did and make them into such a bigger thing to actually focusing on what was relevant to me, my experience working 4 jobs, graduating in 3 years, taking 21 credits a semester with my determination and actually showing who I am. This completely changed my profile because I actually applied using what I thought was correct, by exploiting these experiences and trying to make them look like something that was much bigger to try to show I'm interested in law. And this year, I've actually completely changed all of my personal statements, all of my diversity statements, my entire profile to just show who I am, because I know that from that article that I am enough. And you don't have to specifically conform to what you think they want. You being you with your experiences shows so much more than you think. And that's what really, really was strongly shown to me from this and what made the biggest difference to me. Getting this scholarship seriously brought tears to my eyes. I can't explain to you how grateful I am for this experience and just to be selected and feel like, again, like your experience is enough. You don't have to conform to the traditional path. You can be you and still get great things and do great things. So as someone who is financially responsible and the LSAT price actually stood as a barrier to last year why I could not take it, As someone who just finished taking the LSAT 10 minutes ago, I seriously, from the bottom of my heart, say thank you so much. And I encourage everyone who is applying to law school to just be true to yourself and go ahead and check out those back to school editions because they might just help you transform your entire process. Thank you.